Here to offer testimony as part of our celebration of African American History Month is Tonie Boykin.
Good morning, church.
Good morning.
Welcome. I'm honored to speak this morning on the topic of Black history, which is American history. I say and know this because could you imagine America without Black history? The history is so important to so many of the inventions that are central to our safety and comfort. Stoplights, air conditions, and way too many other inventions too numerous to mention because I would probably be here for the whole day. We as people who have been marginalized sometimes are foreshadowed by powers that see accomplishments made as trivial or not worth mentioning. This is why we have February to highlight some of these key figures in American history. We must keep in mind that history is written by the victors, of which we are keenly aware of who they are. So what I'd like to do is highlight some key figures that through insurmountable odds accomplished some monumental feats throughout history. These figures are even further on the fringes of society because they had the added burden of being out and proud. Keep in mind, these are people who lived in very tough times for blacks through segregation and Jim Crow laws, all vestiges of leftover enslaved ideas. Some of these key figures are one we've been talking about, Bayard Rustin, born 1912 till 1987, an LGBT civil rights activist. Stormy D. LaVera, 1920 to 2014, a biracial butch lesbian who joined the Ringling Brothers Circus jumping horses and the only black drag king of the Jewel Box Review. James Baldwin, 1924 to 1987, a writer and social critic. Lorraine Hansberry, 1930 to 1965, an activist and playwright, best known for her groundbreaking play A Raisin in the Sun. Alvin Ailey, 1931 to 1989. Ailey was a choreographer who founded the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. Audre Lorde, 1934 to 1992. Lorde, a self-described black lesbian feminist mother, poet, warrior, made lasting contributions in the fields of feminist theory, critical race studies, and queer theory through her pedagogy and writing. Ernestine Eckstein, 1941 to 1992. Eckstein was a leader in the New York chapter of Daughters of Lights, the first lesbian civil and political rights organizer in the United States. She was frequently one of the only women and the only black woman present at early LGBTQ rights protests. Barbara Jordan, 1936 to 1996. Jordan, a civil rights leader and attorney, became the first African American elected to the Texas Senate in 1966, and the first woman and first African American elected to Congress from Texas in 1972. She was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by Bill Clinton in 1994 for her work as a political trailblazer. Though Jordan never explicitly acknowledged her sexual orientation in public, she was open about her partner of nearly 30 years, Nancy Earl. Here's one we all have heard of here at MCC. Marsha P. Johnson, 1945 to 1992. Marsha would cheekily tell people the P stood for pay it no mind. She was an outspoken transgender rights activist and is reported to be one of the central figures of the historic Stonewall Uprising of 1969. Along with fellow trans activist Sylvia Rivera, they helped form Street Transgender Action Revolutionaries, which provided housing and other forms of support to homeless queer youth and sex workers in Manhattan. Miss Marjorie Griffin Gracie, born 1940. Miss Marjorie is a black transgender woman and activist at the forefront of the rights for trans rights. She faced many hurdles during her life, homelessness and incarceration, which fueled her activism. In 2005, she joined San Francisco's based Transgender Variant and Intersex Justice Project as a staff organizer, and later as an executive director in advocating for incarcerated trans women. She often speaks out against the prison system, which she says contributes to the incarceration of transgender individuals, particularly trans people of color and those with low incomes. She now resides in Little Rock, Arkansas at age 79, and continues to be a vocal activist. Rod Odin, born 1950. When Odin was elected mayor of Palm Springs, California in 2003, he made history by becoming the first openly gay African-American man elected mayor of an American city. Phil Wilson, born 1956, a prominent African-American HIV/AIDS activist. Wilson founded the Black AIDS Institute in 1999. In 2010, Wilson was appointed to President Obama's Advisory Council on HIV/AIDS. His work resulted in the Act Against AIDS campaign, now known as the Let's Stop HIV/AIDS Together campaign, which promotes HIV testing, prevention, and treatment. Andrea Jenkins, born 1961. Jenkins made history in November 2017 by becoming the first openly transgender Black woman elected to public office in the U.S., according to the LGBT advocacy groups and researchers. Jenkins, a Democrat, was one of 2 openly trans people to win a seat on the Minneapolis City Council in 2017. She is also a published poet and an oral historian at the University of Minnesota. Jenkins made history again in January 2022 when she was elected as the first transgender official in the U.S. to lead a city council. Willie Ninja, 1961 to 2006. Ninja was a dancer, choreographer. Now I know this is going to take you by surprise, but Willie Ninja was the person who founded and developed the dance style Vogue, not Madonna. He helped propel the art form to the national stage. Voguing, characterized by angular body movements and exaggerated runway poses, was introduced to the public in the award-winning 1990 documentary Paris is Burning, which Ninja appeared in. However, it was popularized by Madonna's 1990 hit, Vogue. And last but not least, Lori Lightfoot, born 1962, a former prosecutor with no experience in elected office. Lightfoot swept all 50 of Chicago's wards in the 2019 mayoral runoff election after promising to end the city's famed backroom dealing. She is the city's first ever Black female mayor and its first openly LGBT mayor. So, as you can see, we are in good company with such stalwarts and trailblazers that have paved the way for all of us to imagine and dream that the possibilities are endless when it comes to achieving the impossible. So, let's not stop dreaming. Amen.